Well, hello there. My name is Shinobi, and what I have for you guys today is some Battlefield Hardline gameplay. Now, in this gameplay, I don't do so good in the first half. I get really pounded by the enemy team. In the second half, I actually did really good, and as a team, we still lose, but I actually enjoyed this game because it was pretty fun. It was fast-paced. I was getting a lot of gunplay, and I was enjoying running around the conquest objective and trying to cap as much as I can. So even though I lose, I still like this game, and I don't really care for KDR. So as far as I enjoy this game, I decided to upload it. But that's not the topic of this video today. What I want to talk to you guys today is about Battlefield Hardline and its purpose in the Battlefield series. And there's a lot of opinions just going around the internet saying that Battlefield Hardline is a horrible game, it's the worst game, and some people actually praise it. And I can see it from both perspectives. So I want to talk to you guys in a reasonable sense. And when I mean by reasonable, I'm not going to go to a straight side or pick a side opinion where I'm gonna pick a side and say, hey, this game is terrible because this. I mean, I've seen enough on the internet, and then I can either pick the other side where people say, hey, this game is great, you know, and all this and this. Well, I'm just gonna pick both sides and try to be reasonable. And why did Battlefield Hardline became Hardline? So now it comes down to the idea of, in my opinion, I see this as a marketing strategy, as an overall idea, because since Battlefield 3, Battlefield has grown enormously fast, and it's becoming a huge community. So you got lots of people in their opinions, so it's hard to respect both sides of the opinions at the same time, but I'm just going to try to reason as much as I can. So, Battlefield Hardline, how does Cops and Rubber correlate with Battlefield series? And Battlefield series is supposed to be a military shooter, not cops and robbers, because cops are nowhere near any sense of a soldier, and same as robbers are not terrorists or an enemy team in terms of warfare. And I can see why, and that's where I totally disagree with the idea of Battlefield Hardline. But at the same time, why did they release Hardline knowing for a fact that Hardline is probably nowhere near the Battlefield series theme? And this is where the line has been set. EA has changed a lot, and I'm pretty sure anyone can agree that EA taken a lot of wrong turns. They took the wrong path. They made making a lot of mistakes. And for example, Battlefield 4, in my opinion, released a little bit too early to be considered a new Battlefield game. And that is one of the big problems. Since Battlefield 3 came out, it became a major icon in terms of success and a competitor to the most common enemy, Call of Duty. And one thing about Call of Duty is that they always release a new game every year. And they have literally 3 companies working on the Call of Duty series each year. And those are Treyarch, Sledgehammer Gaming, Infinity Wars, and you got 3 companies that are working on a single series and trying to milk the crap out of that game. Now, EA, it seems to me that EA is taking that same turn. Now, Battlefield used to release not as a yearly game, but almost a year, and then sometimes they extend it. And one of the thing about Battlefield is that Battlefield 2 came out around 2005. Battlefield 3 came out 2011. That is 6 years apart. In between, they have small Battlefield games. And in between those years, when they have those small Battlefield games, what they try to do, they're trying to make some time to do quality work on the Battlefield. And this is why Battlefield 4, in my opinion, wasn't good. Because Battlefield 3 came out 2011, and Battlefield 4 came out 2013. Which is why a lot of people see Battlefield 3 and 4 very similar and don't think that Battlefield 4 is really a new Battlefield series game. And in order to fix that problem is that EA is trying to keep Battlefield in competition. And to keep it in competition, they gotta keep releasing Battlefield game. And they can't just keep making it Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 6 every year. That is very tough. And in terms of technology-wise, graphics, people usually stereotype games based off of graphics. You can't create a new game every year. You're gonna need time to create a game. And that's why Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3, 6 years apart, looks like a complete different game. And that's why they include spin-offs like Bad Company. And I really do like Bad Company, in my opinion. I think they should have made another Bad Company instead of Hardline. That's my opinion. So, what was EA thinking? EA is trying to get Battlefield to be a franchise that you can just get every year and all the anticipated fans to buy it. And that is the wrong turn. That is my opinion. It is the wrong turn to do. what they should have done is that hold off on the Battlefield series and let DICE do the work instead of trying to compete against all the other FPS shooters, because you're gonna ruin the reputation of the game as overall. Right now, Hardline seems to me as ruining the reputation. Like a lot of people say, it's an insult, and I can see why. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it is your choice to spend 60 bucks on a game. Whether this game comes out or exists or not, you're gonna spend it or not. If you don't want the game, just don't buy it. And Hardline, Cops and Robbers, brings it back to Cops and Robbers. I guess it's a little different taste from Battlefield. I think this game could have been a completely different game, but Battlefield, it has a lot of Battlefield elements to it, destruction, guns, just that it doesn't have tanks as much as the other Battlefield, and the gameplay is much different from the typical Battlefield game. It's more close quarters, more gunplay. It's something that you don't usually see, and I can see why a lot of conservative Battlefields disagree with it. But one thing you can appreciate from Hardline is that they really did fix a lot of the things that Battlefield 4 had. And one of the major problems I had with Battlefield 4 is gunplay. And I mentioned earlier in one of my other videos, my first try of Battlefield Hardline, is that Battlefield 4 had less gunplay in my opinion. I don't know why, but Battlefield 3 had the right amount of vehicle play and the right amount of gunplay. But in Battlefield 4, it seems to me that most of the time, the Battlefield is dominated by vehicles because they introduced more vehicles, bigger maps, and that was a problem. Now in this case, it seems to be less vehicle play and more gunplay, and I kind of like gunplay. I like to be the infantry soldier, well, more in a sense infantry police on the ground and killing the robbers. I can understand why. And one of the biggest problems is that this game is 60 bucks. How can you justify this game to be 60 bucks? So this game is about 30 gigabyte when I downloaded it. This game comes with a new campaign. This game comes with a all new multiplayer features in terms of the map. Like, I think, how many maps are there? 6 maps? In terms of guns, I can see they're being similar to Battlefield 4, but it's not to a certain extent where it's exactly like Battlefield 4. And the game took about 2 years in development, I'm guessing. Usually games take about 2 years to develop. So at the end of the day, if it was a DLC like Battlefield Vietnam 2 on Black Ops 2, it wouldn't be a big file. So I can understand why it would be a new game in terms of not being a DLC. But in reality, this game shouldn't be priced at $60. It just doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel acceptable to be $60. That's my opinion. And a lot of people can agree that this could have been a DLC. But the game, when I download it, is 30 gigabyte, and that's considerably huge. That's enough to make a full game. So I can understand why they made it as a different franchise, or not a different franchise, but a different game in the series. So at the end of the day, you gotta understand that when it comes to Battlefield Hardline, its purpose in the series was to keep the Battlefield series ongoing compared to waiting another 4 years. And that's why I really like Bethesda and Valve. Valve and Bethesda, they don't rush to send out their games. Lately, EA has lost my respect because EA has changed a lot. And many other failures is because they want to keep cash flowing in. And that might sound really very horrible to say because that's my mindset about it, but most people's mindset are on that aspect, and I kind of feel it because they always want to get their product outside. And Battlefield 4 was horrendous on launch because of it was in rush. And Battlefield Hardline, for some reason, it had a very smooth terms of launch, and that was my first impression. I thought it was pretty good. So like I said, Battlefield Hardline is meant to be a spin-off. It wasn't meant to be a full-on Battlefield game. It just meant to be a game to substitute for the couple more years to come before Battlefield 5 comes out. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it changed you guys' perspective on how Battlefield Hardline substitutes in the series. Like I said, you're not forced to buy the game. If you're just a Battlefield fan, you just want to play more Battlefield, you're getting sick of Battlefield 4, then Hardline is the way to go, but it's 60 bucks. That's your call. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for my next videos.